Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45, and this evening we got Lewis, the real Lewis Ortega, and Track Stars in the building. We're down one, but we're still strong. The team just got to work a little bit harder. What's going on, guys? I see Track Stars got his New York jersey on. He must be hot up in New York, so he's just trying to stay cool or something like that. I do have the green on representing the Celtics because we may close out tonight. So what's good, fellas?
Uh,
Boo.
Boo. That's what you're saying. I mean, listen, man. You can't. Are you booing the Knicks?
Nah, hell no.
Oh, okay.
But
Because
y'all been on rival the whole season, man. Y'all kill us every time we play y'all. But
it's
hopefully
not.
we to get to the finals, we gotta get past y'all.
It's not the whole season, man. It's for life.
uh, let's just put it this way: the last time the Knicks won the championship, I wasn't even born, and I'm old as fuck.
Who's that? What's his name? That got one. Was that his first ring? Well, I can't. I can't. The great Phil Jackson. Didn't he get one with the Knicks? Is
No,
was it a New York team he got one with?
no,
Yeah.
It was
he
a New
couldn't
York
win
team.
with the Knicks.
I think they
They're-
got one.
The Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think I don't know when Phil was, but Phil's old, so yeah. I think Phil Jackson was on that team.
I thought so too, but
Yeah.
maybe he won one in some other team. I don't know how.
No, I think so. Before he went to Puerto Rico to go play, or they recruited him from Puerto Rico or something like that, and he played. He was older, but I think he got that one with them. That's how long ago the Knicks just won.
For real.
You know what? You're right. He was a power forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think I mean 90% of this team I think is dead. Just so damn good.
Wow.
So, but I'm rooting for the Knicks because I was thinking about this earlier today driving back, and you get a lot of, as you know, Lewis, when you drive, you got a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
And it was more the Celtics, but the Garden, and then and I was just like, okay, but like the Boston Garden the original got knocked down and rebuilt, so whatever now is TD or whatever Garden, and then it made me think of Madison Square Garden because that's still the same Garden from '73.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yep.
been remodeled a few times, but they're still playing at the same home, man.
Man, that's pretty dope. Well, let's get caught up a little bit before we get into MotoGP because it's been crazy. We'll start with Track Stars, man. What's good, man? And you're traveling around the world, as you mentioned off here. We saw each other twice at events in passing.
For real. I guess I take my work real serious because when they got me working, I just stay there, do what I gotta do. And it happened at MotoGP and then now here at Spicy's track day, which was incredible. What a turnout for her.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for her and excited for her because um she's a unicorn in the game where she's part of a community um uh hosting track days. She's a female and she's doing it big. She's doing it big. She took a huge step in going from New York Safety to organizing a private track day at NJMP, the
right.
famous Moto America track, and she damn near sold it out. She did sell it out, and what a turnout! And we had very little incidents. No one was hurt all day. Everybody made it back home. And it was just incredible.
Yeah, I will say I'll say a couple of things. One, you look like a school teacher that was about to be kidnapped with the rookies when I saw you the one time coming off the track.
Yo,
You might have wanted to run away. But two, I will say I haven't been to a lot of track days, but I was pretty impressed with that. The fact that there was food there for the riders is huge because I haven't been to a track day where they provided food. So that was huge. Had a DJ, another cool thing, and the the writers that showed up, they don't, and I mean this in the nicest way. they don't seem like normal riders, that track riders, right? They seem like they're street riders, but they believe in what she's doing and buying into what she's doing, and she convinced them to come to the track for the first time, and which is pretty impressive because there's to me on the outside looking in, you're on the other side, so you can elaborate more on that. But it seemed like a lot of the riders were they're not like racers, they just street riders, and they come into the track.
Not for sure. I mean, this is what she does. She's basically like uh, a motorcycle safety school. She teaches you how to ride motorcycles, and then she gets you prepared for your tests, gets you your motorcycle license, and then takes you to host these events where you can take your skills even further by developing your skills in the safest environment possible, which is the track. And yeah, I would say 90% of or let's not go 90, let's say 70% of the riders that were there were all uh street riders, like first or second time on the track.
Right.
And it's incredible that she um is able to do this because she's bringing some people that don't even speak English. There were
Right.
some people that only spoke Russian there. Some people only spoke Spanish there, and she gets them to NJMP 2.5 hours away from New York, and people put the faith in her that they're gonna get to a racetrack and be safe, because that's the
Right.
misconception. You think you're going to a racetrack, but you're actually going to a school to learn more, learn better skills, learn to be faster, learn to be safer. And we managed to work as a team and do that for so many people, and it was definitely, I love coaching. It's one of my favorite things to do. Besides riding, I love coaching. And I might like coaching more because I feel like I'm giving back, a lot of times I felt like I didn't have uh the support from my friends who were already track riding to
I think
teach
he's
me
talking about you, Lewis.
because they
What
were
happened?
already.
I think he's talking about you when he's talking about not having the support of his friends.
Nah, I was already
Nah,
out of the
yeah, yeah.
coaching game when he came along, man.
No, not yet, but Lewis knows what type of support I be needing from him, and he doesn't give it to me. He continues to support Marquez. Knowing the bond that we have.
Right, right.
But
Um,
but it was cool to give these guys the support and ladies the support. So many ladies, yo,
yeah,
so much
yeah,
props
yeah.
to the ladies that were out there on the track ripping it. Me and this girl were on that final session. She was moving. Oh my gosh, she was moving. And then on turn 5, she just went a little wide and got into the grass and just panicked because she was already stopped and she had to put the bike down. And I was like, oh man, I was waving her, come on, get back on. And then I just
Yeah.
see the bike chuck down. I'm like, no. But yo, so much props to her. This girl, after she crashed on turn 5, comes out back onto the paddock on her bike, and she gives me the biggest hug, the biggest smile. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. That was incredible. Yo, what else? What you guys have to get to the track. Everyone watching, come to the track, do a track day. You won't regret it.
No, you will not. I was there. I had fun. I will say I'm used to riding my RC 390 around the track, pushing that Panigale around. My left shoulder is killing me. It's, I'm like, why am I so much pain? But it was a fun time. It was good to get that bike out there and actually see what it can do on the track, or see a little bit what it can do. I have to say, it might be the best Ducati that they've made, man. I see
I
both of you
wouldn't
guys.
know.
I don't know what happened to my audio.
I wouldn't know. I
Well,
don't. I don't ride them there Ducatis.
oh well, listen. When I see you at the track, I'll let you take a spin and you can see for yourself.
Nah,
Um,
I'm good. I'm good.
so Lewis,
I don't ride other people's bikes, man.
okay, all right. I hear you.
That's
I don't.
just
I
a
don't
long
either,
time
but I
rule of
offer.
mine.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So how things, man? I see you're on the road as well, man. So where are you in the
Yep.
world?
I'm down in Atlanta, Georgia. This weekend we've got a Motor America event here, so we've got a couple of things we're gonna do at the local Dainese store here, leading up to that. So tomorrow, I'm gonna meet a couple of the riders that are in Dainese at the store. We're gonna have some Q&As and interviews and so forth. And then on Thursday, we got a couple more riders that are kind of swing by. We're gonna do Q&As, make sure that they're set up for the weekend. Friday, I'll be at the track for the first half of the day or most of the day Friday. And then Saturday, I'm kind of playing it by ear. Maybe I'll go to the track for half a day and then cut out and go home, or maybe
Just stay
stay
all
until
day.
Sunday. Or stay Sunday. I mean, I'm not too far from my house, but it's still a pain in the ass drive to get back home from here. And
Right.
I do want to be home because I'm only home for 8 days, and then I've got a trip down to Colombia to go to
Wow.
the Feria de Ruedas, which is like the biggest motorcycle show in South America. It's like the ECMA of South America.
Oh, okay, good.
It takes place in Medellin, Colombia, and it's like a 4-day event. And supposedly they get people from all over South America, Latin America, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, Mexico. They all go there.
Do you need two
So
bodyguards? I think Track Stars and myself can, get
I
an
might need two
earpiece.
bodyguards because I actually have to bring some historical suits with me.
Oh,
And so I have to stay with the suits the entire time that I'm there.
oh man.
Because we're going to display them at the event, and we had the company that we're working with there. They made special displays to display them, so they're inside of like a glass case.
Okay.
But then I have to bring them to the event every day, put them in the glass case, and then hang out with them all day. And at the end of the day, take them out of the glass case, put them back in my suitcases, bring them back to the hotel, lock them up. Next day, repeat the same process over and over for the entire event, because they're super worried that we've never done this event, we've never been to this event, we don't know what the security looks like and
Right.
everything else. And some of these suits are one of a kinds; they can't be replaced, really.
I was gonna say, can't you like make replicas?
Nah, I
Isn't
mean these are worn suits, so you can't replicate Max Biaggi wearing a suit again. You can't replicate Giacomo Augustini wearing a suit again.
no 3D printer for this stuff?
No. There's no 3D print. There's no 3D printing for their sweat. And if they
Fair
crashed
enough.
in it,
Fair enough.
and if they crashed in it, there's no 3D printer to replicate the crash that they had in it to show that it was used by them. So
Right.
it's an interesting. It should be an interesting event. And then from there, I come home a couple of weeks, and then back on the road again. Man, June is packed. July is packed. I think August is when it finally slows down a little bit, and
Yeah.
then it picks back up. So it's going to be a busy couple of months coming up.
Nice, which is always good to be busy. I didn't think I'd be as busy as I am, and I was gone for 8 days, and I'm trying to stick around for May, but it's looking real shaky before I get back on the road myself. I see Track Stars is having some technical difficulties or a little bit, so we'll jump into
Yep.
well, there he is.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio on my.
Let's just jump into Mr. Third Place.
Oh my God!
Mr. I'm not here to race for third and fourth place, but every race, my man's third and fourth.
We'll start there. I mean, I don't know how many times he said it, but I think he only said it once.
Said it twice. I got it on record.
Twice. Okay. He said it twice. That's why you never say what you're sick of, because it'll come back and bite you in the face.
Taking all the notes, man.
Okay. Let's talk about, the highlight of, well, there's a lot of highlights for me. But Alex Marquez, as they're saying on the MotoGP channel itself, he's no more Mr. P2.
Yeah. Got that monkey on his back, man.
What do you guys thought of his racing? And I'll leave it there and probably do a follow-up. We start with Lewis.
For me, I'm actually super happy for him for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's super hard to grow up in the shadow of your older brother, especially if your older brother is Marc Marquez. Like, imagine being the younger brother of Michael Jordan and being in the NBA. You could be one of the best players to ever play in the NBA. You're still the younger brother of Michael Jordan. You know
Imagine
what I
being the
mean?
older brother to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I guess.
Either way, it can't be good, right?
Can't be good. Can't be good. Be like, damn, your younger brother got more skills than you, and if you're younger, damn, your older brother got more skills than you. And you know, it's in his own right. Alex Marquez has built a career for himself. You know, did his brother maybe open some doors for him? Absolutely, I think he did. But you know, Alex Marquez has raced in the same series that Mark has raced in. He's won championships in the same series. He's been a Moto2 championship. You know, so he's got the receipts that he's a quality rider, and he just never had, like I said earlier this year, he never had the opportunity to be the number one guy on a team. He's always been either the number two guy or the satellite guy. And now that he's the number one guy on the team, he's stepping up to the plate and he's doing what he's got to do. And to be honest with you, man, I mean, that first MotoGP win, I can't even imagine that feeling, man. That
No,
feeling to just come across the checkered and know that. And I know some people online have put a little asterisk because Mark crashed. Oh, if Mark wouldn't have crashed, you can't say that for sure because
but
that doesn't mean
you
Mark
have
is
to
That's
put
getting
it
coming
though,
from
right?
you.
Because they
That's
did it for
coming from you, Lewis.
they did it for
No, I'm
From
Pecco.
saying
you.
online. A lot of people are saying that
Yeah,
the only reason he got that position is because Mark crashed. Because realistically, Mark was gonna run away with it. It was gonna
well,
be another Mark Marquez runaway.
but they said the same thing for Pecco when Pecco won in Dakota
No,
and Mark
he
crashed.
said the same thing for
Yeah, I
Pecco.
said the
Lewis
same
said
thing.
that for
Yeah,
Pecco.
that's why
Oh my
that's why
God,
there's a
that's
little
what I'm
asterisk.
saying.
It's he did win his first race, but he still hasn't yet beaten his brother. So
Well,
there's still one unchecked
Mark
box.
Mark
He
has
beat
crashed
his
out. So
brother.
listen, so I'll before we dive further into that, I'll let you jump in track stars, and then we'll circle back and dissect what Lewis is saying.
Yeah, listen. Congratulations to Alex. Well done. You know what I mean? But I just, I'm more disappointed in Pecco. What the hell happened? You know, like what happened? What happened? Like, how do you get? How do you stay behind Fabio for the whole race? Mark gets around him. Alex gets around him. And if this guy Vinales would have gotten around
Nah,
Pecco too.
if Aldeguer didn't crash, Aldeguer would have probably passed Pecco.
Stop it! Stop it!
For real.
It was
Aldeguer was coming hot.
you know I hate agreeing with this man, but for
So was
real, like yo, it's just crazy what is going on. Like, how do you allow this to happen? What is going on mentally
it's not
with
mental.
Pecco?
It's
It's
not
not
It
mental.
has
mental.
to be.
No, it's not. It's
Uh,
the bike. It's the bike. And
but here's
and
the
this
thing.
and they're sorting it out.
Here's
So
the
that's
thing. He's got the same. He's got all access to all the data Mark has. He
mhm,
himself has said, even in the car ride on Saturday, I can't do what Mark does in the left hand corners.
right.
So he's pretty much admitting Mark's got this extra talent, this extra ability that he just doesn't have.
Right. He
And
said.
So
Mark's
Go ahead.
so
squeezing
what?
more out of the package than he is.
So
That's really
you
what it
think?
comes down to.
Let me ask you a question, Lewis. So you think that if we start going through the tracks, right? You think that when he gets to the right-handed tracks, what's gonna happen?
Mark's gonna beat his ass there too. Mark's even better on right-handed tracks.
So I will say this. I think Pecco's fine because he's still having the best season to date so far because he hasn't crashed out yet. And I think that we're not using the same lens for all the riders, and we should, because I think there's some unfairness that's going towards Mark in a good way and not towards Pecco. Because when another rider crashes out in the lead, we'll say the rider behind them forced them to crash by putting pressure on them. When Mark crashes out, nobody's saying there's no pressure. He just crashed out. So why is he crashing if there's no pressure?
No, because the pressure is he's doing it to himself. There really is no
Oh,
pressure coming
oh,
from behind. Mark
oh,
crashes. Mark crashes
oh,
himself.
Okay. Well,
He does.
oh!
At Austin,
Wow.
yo, how big a lead did he have? He didn't have to push it. It's just Mark doesn't have that gear. Like sometimes Mark is his worst enemy. On the track, there's nobody that's a worse enemy to Mark than Mark. Because talent wise and speed wise, very few people can keep with him when he really puts his head down and decides he wants to go. The problem is he puts his head down, decides he wants to go, and now starts to push further than he needs to push to be there because he wants to go.
But here's
Yeah, but
go ahead.
go ahead, Rex.
In every race that he's finished, he
Yep.
almost sent himself to the moon.
Yeah.
Right. So it's if he doesn't change his riding style, he's not going to win.
No, he's not. He's not going to win.
Okay.
If he doesn't start to chill out, if he just gets out of his own way, because he's his own worst enemy, man. He
Yeah.
really is. Nobody's putting pressure on him from behind.
I
If he
think
wants
they
to put
are.
his head, if he
I
wants to
think
put
they
his head down, I mean, dude, he's finishing races sometimes with 2 or 3 second leads. He lets the throttle off down the straightaway on the last lap because he knows nobody's on him.
But
So
this
yeah,
time
you can
it
put
wasn't the
pressure.
last lap. It
Go
wasn't
ahead.
the last lap this time. And you gotta understand that Pecco was putting pressure on him. Pecco
No, he was putting
Pe-
pressure on himself to try to pass.
wow.
He was putting pressure on himself to try to pass Quartararo.
Okay. Well, think about that. You mentioned, as I'm going to bring up Quartararo. Quartararo got pole position. You're telling me
Yeah.
Mark is not affected by that at all?
Oh, it's definitely a thorn in his side. He wanted that pole.
Okay.
Like
That's all.
every time Mark gets on a bike, he wants to be the. I mean, they just had a test and tune day today, and or yesterday, he was the number one rider on the track speed wise. He had the fastest lap time because he doesn't like to settle for second place. That's that mentality that high level champions have, but it also it could affect them adversely. Unlike in basketball, you're not going down the court 140 miles an hour from one side of the court to the other. You got, in motorcycle racing, you got to pace yourself. You got to understand that you're working around the elements, you're working around the track. The temperature goes up, the temperature goes down, the fuel load goes up, the fuel load goes down. The bike changes throughout the race.
Yeah.
And Mark just believes that the bike is going to be the bike that he knows he has under him the entire race. And it doesn't happen, dude. And they said they looked at the data and he made a mistake. He went 1 degree too far in the lean angle in the same corner where all weekend he was the fastest guy going through the corner.
Well, I get, but that's the making of the mistake is part of
The
racing.
pressure.
Yeah. But it's not pressure from behind, dude. It's his own pressure internally where he doesn't want to be. He wants to be further ahead, man.
So Lewis, when you say
I'm giving Pecco the same excuse. I feel that he's
Thank
feeling
you.
pressure in the same garage from Alex
Himself.
and
No,
the brothers.
I think Pecco's putting pressure on himself the same way Mark is putting pressure on himself. I think these riders put pressure on themselves. I don't really think that they're sitting here looking at the dude across or anyone on the grid thinking like, oh, I'm scared of this dude right now. I don't think any of them dudes think like that. And that's why I said
they wouldn't be there if they did.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said they're not going to just let him run away with this thing. And you saw Quartararo showing up and you see KTM trying to show up as well. But we have to look at it. We have to be fair in the sense of like, Mark is making mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. He's overriding himself. He's overriding his bike, and he's going into some of these races too confident. It really comes down to his overconfidence, man. He believes he can do things on the bike that the bike said he can't do. And after he crashed, he had a damaged bike. He still had the fastest lap of the race on a damaged bike.
Yeah, got down to like 15.
So again, if he had just chilled out, you're going to tell me that he wouldn't eventually pass Quartararo and started to slowly walk away? He doesn't want to slowly walk away. He wants to pass and dip.
We can't talk in hypotheticals, man.
No, you can't, but he's got to pace himself differently than what he's pacing himself at now.
I agree.
Because, again, all these guys are alpha personalities. All these guys believe they can win. Mark believes it more than anybody else, and it bites him in the ass more than anybody else, man.
I think Mark. I think the difference between Mark and Pecco is Mark believes he could win. No. I think stop it. I think Mark knows he can win, and I believe Pecco believes he can win. And right now he's just he is shell shocked. I mean that there's nothing more than to have Quartararo come ahead of you. Like it's just insane, insane, and not be able to pass him. Because for real, this was his opportunity to really win. He could have gotten his W.
I,
Not second,
Nah,
not third, first.
Alex was gonna win this race. Once
I,
Alex got in the front, man, I don't think anybody was catching him, man.
I think that and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. Um I'll say this. I'll say I think Pecco's playing chess with these guys because I think and I'll go back to what I was going to say when I was talking to these guys. I think he does a really good job at managing the race. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Right? Based on tire consumption, riders in the back, or if you're not in the first row, you have a few laps to try to get as far front as possible. Then you're spending the middle of the race managing your tire, and then at the end of the race, you're trying to see what you can get. Right?
Well, now you're also managing the tire pressure, which I think has added another element to these races that
Element, yeah.
I don't like.
Right.
Like I don't like the fact that I have to maintain a certain distance away from the person in front of me because the heat of their bike might
Right.
actually overheat my front tire. So now I got to give them a couple more bike lengths to kind of stay in a little bit cleaner air, colder air. So I don't, so I got to be looking down at my dashboard now, looking at my tire pressure light and seeing if my tire pressure light turns on. Now I got to start to calculate how many laps can I still keep it on before I have to slow down, or do I have to go ahead and try to pass this person and get some clean air in front of them? Again, man, I think this element of the tire pressures is something that we don't know all the ins and out, but I
Right.
also think this is something that is affecting Pecco and a lot of the other people because especially where Pecco sees himself second, third, fourth place, you got guys in front of you. They're going to be throwing a lot of hot air. They're going to give you a lot of turbulence. Like it's hard to get around these bikes because of the fins now, and the aero is designed specifically to make the air behind the bike dirty, so you can't really tuck in and just slipstream easily. You got to outmotor somebody. Uh, you know, I don't think Pecco didn't forget how to ride. You
No,
know,
I don't think
maybe
so.
there's something in the bike that he's not gelling with, and they're gonna try to find it and make it better. But there's so many other elements that we, as normal people that aren't on the bike, don't even take into account all these other things that are going on. I will say, like, I was impressed by Fabio, but again, this is that specific track is a track where the big horsepower of the Ducati gets negated.
Right.
And the Yamaha, I think, is still probably one of the best handling bikes.
Right. I
It can
agree.
corner. It corners on rails.
Yep. Track stars. Don't give up on Pecco yet. I think the
Don't give
season is
up.
long.
Next race. Next
The
race.
season is long. They got a plan, and as long as he stays on the bike and doesn't crash out, let the
He'll be
Marquez
there at the
brothers
end.
do what they got to
Yep.
do.
He'll
But
be there
like,
at the end.
I'm just hoping that since he's staying up on tools, as I always say, um, somehow it keeps him in the points. I mean, it's close, my brothers. It is freaking close.
Yeah.
It we've seen bigger gaps, and thank I went crazy when Mark Marquez crashed. I said, I
You were
said,
clapping. You got your rosary beads.
yo, I was cheering, my man, and nothing made me happier than to see Davide, whatever his, um,
I had his name the other day. I don't
Haragazzi.
remember.
Taranasi, whatever. When he went, oh my God, because when I see him rooting for Mark, I've never seen him root for anybody the way he does for Mark, like at all. And I feel like it's so
Disgusting, isn't it?
hypocritical. It's so hypocritical when he goes over to Pecco and he's like third place, yeah, good job, and I
Hey,
probably telling him you can do this.
you do know
It's
they get
safe.
bonuses for that, right?
What you
So he,
mean?
he he gets a bonus as long as the Ducati bike gets on the grid in first, second, or third place. So he's gonna root for whoever's gonna get on the podium that has a Ducati because that's extra cheese in his pocket.
Yeah, yeah, but he just loves when that money comes from Mark. Like it just
Hey, green comes from green. Doesn't matter who's coming.
I think that's one of the hardest things to watch. Is the team bosses, how they are falling over Mark. It's almost like they've erased from when Rossi was on a Ducati up until
Yo, for real.
2024.
So, guys, I wanna bring something up because I don't want to miss this point. Uh, the turnout of Jerez broke the record
Ridiculous.
Wow.
for the track.
Wow.
Sorry, say that one more time. The last part of it.
The turnout at Jerez broke the record for the track
Yeah,
for a
it's like
for a motorcycle race.
253,000 or
250
93,000.
253 over the 3 days
Yep.
and 100 and I think 8,000 just on Sunday.
Wow.
Okay. Think of it this way. For all 3 days at Coda, they barely broke 130,000 people for the 3 days combined.
Hey,
And the one thing I'll say about the Spanish fans is they cheered for everybody.
right.
They cheered for Pecco. They cheered for Quadraro. They cheered for everybody, man. They showed a level of enjoyment for the race and class for the riders that I haven't seen in a long time. Because usually Spain is very leans towards the Spanish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
that Ducati love. I think it was Pecco that said that the crowd was so loud that he couldn't hear um the bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how loud the crowd was.
And
Um
at the end, he acknowledged that this is the most energetic crowd that he thinks he's ever raced in front of. He's never seen this level of, and that track is also designed in a way where the crowd is right there. Like they call
yeah,
it the stadium section for a reason. Like you're literally racing in front of a stadium full of people in those, last few fast right-handers.
I
And they
mean,
said it's the lot. It was the loudest, the most. I'm hoping that when they go to Italy, the Italian crowd has the same level of excitement, thrill, and support for all the riders. Because when we typically go to Italy, we usually get the yellow mist, and when the yellow mist shows up, all of a sudden you got these fanatics that start booing people and hoping they crash and this and that. And I didn't see that in Spain. And I'm hoping I don't see that in Italy because I think that anytime you cheer for somebody to crash, I think that's the worst kind of fan that we have, man. That's like a Star Wars fan.
yeah. I will say this a little bit because if you're a rider and everybody's cheering, how do you know that they're cheering for you?
Oh, you just look and
There's a
see
lot of
who's wearing my
Spaniards on the
shirt.
grid. There's a lot of Spaniards
That's
on the grid. I'm just saying.
I
There's a
mean,
lot of Spaniards.
Pecco saw a lot of
yeah.
red. Yeah, it had a number 93 on it, but it was still
Yeah.
red.
They all had 93. All of them. It is yo, it is so bad. Like I'm so mad at some Ducati fans, like for real.
I'm hearing
It's
you
just
saying they're cheering for everybody, Lewis, but I don't think they're
Yes.
cheering for everybody.
I, that's a fact. That's
No,
a fact.
in the cool down lap, when they were coming through the stadium, they were cheering from everybody. Like I didn't see anybody
Right,
booing
right. Yeah,
or any of that nonsense.
and it was a very entertaining race to watch, not even to be there. Like I
Yep.
saw some people post and said, they're sick and tired of the three people winning all the time, and I'm sitting here like, well, I don't know where these people are from because they're from somewhere where their teams ain't winning because
Yep.
nobody gets sick of winning.
Nah.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. And even myself, right? Like I'm not tired of seeing Alex up there. I'm not tired of seeing Mark up there. And I really enjoy seeing Quatorano up there. I'm tired of Pecco beating Pecco. Just like Lewis is saying, only Mark is beating Mark. I feel the same way about Pecco. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't expect him to win every race because I know he's riding against one of the goats. One of the goats. And I'll say it myself. Mark is one of the goats.
Yeah,
To me, he's never gonna be better than Valentino, but to me, he's always gonna be on the Mount Rushmore. You can't remove him.
right.
It's solidified, and he's still racing, and he's still gonna win. And
I
I
agree.
feel like he will get the opportunity to take the title of most championships um over Rossi. And but at the end of the day, I'm I love seeing the people win and wanting to beat those people to win. You know how much for how many, it was 3, 4 years of me rooting for Martin to win this championship. And he finally did. I didn't want him to be anybody else but Pecco. I wanted him to be right there in that seat next to Pecco and beat him again on the Ducati. So now it's just another person. I'm rooting for another underdog now. And he's a freaking champion against a person who hasn't won on the freaking bike. And he's just giving it to him, like handing it to him, like just giving him the
He's
little
not
chip to put
handing.
on the trophy.
He's not handing, man. It's early.
You
It's
don't think,
early.
you don't feel like,
Relax.
I know
Relax.
I'm panicking. Am I panicking?
You
You're
know,
panicking too early, man. There's a lot of racing left. Remember, this is a 20 event
22,
season,
22
22
rounds,
events,
right? Yeah, 20, so
22
44
rounds,
races. Yeah,
44 races. There's a lot of
it's
racing
a
left. I
lot.
mean, all it takes is one bad crash, an injury, this, that. I mean, there's so much that can happen
No,
between now
no,
and the end of the
Right.
season that can
Yeah.
change things dramatically.
And
Um,
I'll go back to say, well, this is why I don't understand why Marquez is not chilling, because it's like, bro, you're one high side away from having that. You saw what happened to
the end of
Marquis,
the end
and
of the
he
year.
just came back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, don't push your luck, bro. Pecco is riding like Lorenzo. He manages the time and he manages the gap. I know the tire pressure issue is a little bit different, so they can't push as much as they probably would like, as Lorenzo did back in the day. But Pecco does a really good job at managing the time, and Mark is acting like one of these old guys that's still trying to show off. Nah, man, just get the money, man.
Right.
Come on, man, just get the money. Stop playing.
Yeah.
yeah. You think, do you think it will come down to that? So, I mean, I don't even want to put that in the air. I'm gonna take that back. I was gonna say, you think it'll take an injury
For
on
Marquez?
Mark to, but
No. I think these
Nah.
other guys. I think these other guys are gonna. They're not gonna beat him like that. But I think these other guys are gonna take some points away from him.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
and I
want. Listen, that's the
and I
one
think
thing I wouldn't want.
his brother finally getting that monkey off his back, I think that opens up a little bit more
But
for him as far as like, you know what, I don't have to win a race anymore. I already won the race. Now I need
right,
to just win this championship. What do I have to do to win this championship?
right.
If I gotta come in second, if I gotta come in second or third every race,
That's a good point, Lewis.
knowing knowing that
That's a great point.
my brother's gonna toss it down the road at least 4 more times because that's my brother and I
Right.
know him.
He told me this
Like
morning.
he told me this morning, yo, I'm gonna chuck this fucker into the third row. Watch. I bet. Let me watch. Like now, I think Alex has got that monkey off his back. So now he doesn't have that pressure on him anymore. Now his pressure is like, hey, let's see how far we can go in this championship race. We're in the lead. Even though at 1 point, I'm still the championship leader by 1 point. This is my second time as a championship leader. I know what I did last time that I threw it away. Let me not make that mistake again. I think Alex Marquez has a more level head than Mark Marquez.
Hmm.
And I think that's going to be a benefit for Alex Marquez because he's riding really with no pressure. I'm on a satellite bike. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm Mark Marquez's brother. I'm not supposed to be winning. Mark's supposed to be walking away with this shit. Pecco's supposed to be walking away with this shit.
Yeah.
Man,
But I might walk away with this shit.
No, I listen. He's on the bike that can win it for sure. And I will say this: he, out of all the riders on the grid, he's the one that surprised me the most. You know what I'm saying?
Alex.
Yeah, to come from last year, because he was up and down last year. Like
Yeah.
up and down last year. You didn't know what you were getting. And any given Sunday, to quote the movie. And this year he's Mr. Consistent. He's Mr. Two. He's Mr. P2, Mr. Consistent. And it's love. It's nice to say, if Jordan was in this era, if Marcus didn't crash, it's easy to who finishes. That's how it works. It's who finishes. It doesn't matter what happened the 21 laps before. It's who finishes. And if Mark can't finish, no matter if he's Penny Hardaway or any of these other greats, you got to finish. And it's such a weird phenomenon to see him that either he's just having so much fun that he don't care or something, but like he's or he think he has enough time. I don't know.
That, now
Man,
I think Alex would be this year's Johan Mir if he just stays where he's at.
yo,
Yeah.
Johan Mir won a championship by just being consistent, staying quiet, and letting everybody else crash and do all their nonsense. Only had one win the entire year. Still got his name on that big trophy.
the only Johan Mir that can be here is Pecco. Pecco is that's the only way he could win right now. To me, like you guys say, it's early, but to me, if he keeps getting third, but not crashing the bike, then yeah, then he'll win the championship like that because Mark and Alex already put the bikes down.
Listen, man, a win is a win. I'm not, I don't, a knockout or by decision.
TKO by decision is still a W.
It's still a W. And look, before we move on to the rest of the riders after this, I mean, I don't know if you guys can. I think some of you guys have siblings. But what do you? I mean, after Alex won and Mark has been dominating, and I always go back to the Williams sister because they're the closest ones that were like a 1 and 2 for a few years. That like we still got to have dinner together. We still got to do everything together. And yet you're my closest rival.
Number one rival.
Yeah. Like, how do you think things are? Do you think Alex is going to change up a little bit now that he's won and he's seeing like, okay, what do you guys think?
Well, you see how they celebrate, man. They celebrate each other equally, like
No, they don't. No, they don't. Alex has been celebrating Mark forever.
Yeah.
No. But what I'm talking about this season, when you see it, you can't fake that. Like when you see Taradasi on the screen, you see the difference. When you see that dad, he don't even know what to do. He don't even know what to do with himself. So it's genuine, the type of support that they have for each other and how the competitiveness exists between them, but to the most respectful manner possible. And at the end, I'm still super happy for you, no matter what happens to me or what happens to you. There's something special between them, and man, it's just amazing to see a family like that, like the LeVar Ball family too, with Leangelo, Lamelo, and oh my God, I forget the other one.
That's all right.
But there's just something when there's competitiveness between family, and they know how to keep it together and not let that competitiveness go beyond that. It's just special. The Charlo brothers in boxing, these guys are champions. They'll never fight against each other, and they said it. Not for any money, any amount of money will we let it go over that line where we are not family anymore. And that's what you have between Alex and Mark.
It's different with them though, because somebody's gonna have to take an L.
Yeah, but even taking an L, I mean, if you look back at the history between them, when Mark wins a championship, the first guy to run out and congratulate him is usually his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And when Alex has won a championship, one of the first guys that goes out and congratulates is Mark. And the other thing is, you got to remember, their mom and dad are in their garages. They bring their family to the track. Like they're close in a way that, again, it's like Serena and Venus Williams. Even when they play each other, they give each other 100%. But at the end of the match, whoever wins. You're still my sister. I still love you. I'm still going to support you. I'm glad you beat me. I just got to step my game up. And that's really what's happening here. I think Mark is forcing Alex to elevate his game. And now that Alex is elevating his game, Mark is supporting that because we're both raising our boats. The raising tide floats all boats. We both had this great opportunity. Let's do something that nobody's ever seen. Two brothers win MotoGP races for the first time ever. MotoGP has been around a long time. This is the first time two brothers are at this level.
Well, at this level. I mean, the Spargo brothers both have won, but you know,
Nah. No.
Suzuki. Who's on the
Otis
Suzuki?
Scarborough has never won a race.
He has
They
it.
podium. They
MotoGP.
podium.
He was on the podium.
Podium,
Yeah.
yeah.
KTM.
Aleix
podium.
won one race on Aprilia, but two brothers have never won a race until now.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. What's more shocking to you guys? Ducati being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So many bikes they have. Finishing in the top 6, or what Quartararo and KTM is starting to do with Vinales. What's more impressive this past weekend?
Damn. It's tough, right? Because it's only Quattorano. At least KTM got a couple of their boys top 10. Almost everybody is up there.
Yeah, but we did have a lot of chucks down the road. There's a lot of bikes got chucked down the road. So I think Quartararo is the most impressive because if you look where all the Yamahas are at, they in the crash truck, they way pretty far back. They only got a little higher up because of all the crashes and DNFs and people running off and everything else.
Right.
But nobody, come on, let's be honest. Who had Quartararo being the pole setter? Nobody had nobody.
Nobody. I mean, you would have made bank. You would have made bank on FanDuels with that.
300 to 1, baby.
Yeah. I mean, and so what does that do for Yamaha? I mean, I don't know if they expected it. I mean, they probably didn't expect that they would have been on pole this weekend.
No, I think it shows because they've shown some consistency, at least with Quartararo. One, it shows they made the right call by backing up the Brinks truck to his house to make sure they kept him on the Yamaha because they can't afford to lose him because he is absolutely the best rider that Yamaha has now or possibly for the next foreseeable future, unless they bring somebody else high level. It also shows that Yamaha is putting in the work. They're starting to make a slow progression, like they're getting more consistent. They still don't have the top end speed because even in the trap at Jerez, they said that they had the slowest top end speed versus the other bikes.
Right.
But they're working on everything else that they can work on that's not power wise. And they're making that bike as sharp as a needle, man. And Quartararo is threading the hell out of that needle.
Man, Vinales up there is impressive too, man. I mean, he's on something for sure. Something clicked, just like something clicked for Quartararo. You know,
I think Vinales heard what Lewis said about him on one of the shows.
I mean, I've been saying it too. They gotta, all these old folks gotta go.
He's checking the torque on the valve stems before every session. Yo, I gotta make sure this is right.
Yo, I think it's crazy that it's not just him. You know, Bender's up there, Costa was there, and Bastianini. Like they were all there. Like that's, and I don't care how many people crashed. They crashed. They didn't. And it's crazy because I didn't even like really understand how much warmer it was as opposed how much cooler it was, how much warmer was the first for the sprint compared to how much cooler it got for the race day. And this was where I had them going down like flies, you know, boom, 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 one after another. And I would never think like that it would have affected it like that because I'm like, how much cooler could it have been? But it was, they said, I don't know if it was like 10 or because they always talk in Celsius or something
10, 15
different.
degrees
So
Celsius.
it sounded crazy, you know, like I'm like, what? No way. Lewis, what you heard about that? Like the tires and with the temps.
I mean, I know a couple of people changed the compound that they raced in the sprint race to the actual race because of the temps, maybe just because of the wear. That track does wear a lot on your tires because you're on the side of the tire for a long time, especially in the Sadim section. Like the right-hand side of the tire gets a lot of beating. But most of the crashes, if you look, most of them happen either on the left-handers or in the braking zone to the right-hander. Very few people actually tossed it in the middle of the right-hander. Like if you look where most of the guys crashed, they crashed when they first got on the brakes to start a right-hander, and they crashed really early. So I don't know if that's a temperature thing or a pressure thing, but I think it's turn
6.
the one long straight in the back. A lot of guys went to hit the brake, and they hit the brake, and they hit the kitty litter.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Man,
most of them did crash on the left-handers because there's only a few left-handers and they're fast left-handers. So by the time you get back to that left hand, you know, the temperature on that side of the tire could drop dramatically. And then you go into that corner thinking you've got that extra grip because the tire is hot, but it's actually cooled down on the left side versus the right side. And now you tuck the front end. So it's a tricky track, especially if the weather fluctuates like that. You know, you're expecting one thing and the track conditions change. I give Vinales his flowers. You know, like he did a great job. He's showing people, hey man, that tire pressure thing, that was bullshit. I could actually ride this bike. They're giving me the parts that I need now. They're giving me the support I need. I know that we still gotta borrow money to put gas in the bike because the company's in bankruptcy, but
stop it.
We're still showing up. We still riding.
Vinales paid for his ride. He bought some stocks when they were complaining. So, you know, he's like, I'm part owner. I'm sitting at the table.
Probably. But Vinales did great. Frankie fucked me again.
I was just going to bring him up. Like,
fucking Frankie. He did good in the sprint, but damn it, man. Like, I was Frankie gonna do this. There go Frankie in the crash.
And he's hurt too, I believe.
Yeah, I think he is.
He gave himself a contusion in his neck.
Yeah. He got the people that Oliveira saw.
Everyone that crashed in Spain, like crashed. You know, it wasn't just like
fast track, man.
They crashed. Like they deflated the air fence like that.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Jack, when he went down, that was off. They spent some money in Spain. You know, that crowd hopefully paid for a lot of bikes, you know, because the amount of crashes it was. Oh my God. I'm looking on eBay, see if I find any parts for my bike, you know?
Yeah.
Outside of Quartararo, who impressed you guys the most this weekend? Because Quartararo, by far, like for me, was the most impressive result of the weekend because I couldn't guess that one in a million years, man. Like that was really pulling a rabbit out of your hat. I didn't see that one coming from anywhere.
I agree. I'll take it first, I guess. I think Quartararo was the most impressive for the weekend, getting on pole. Crashing out in the sprint. It's the dirty part of the track. We'll just leave it there. But he might have just got pushed out a little bit. Just like bro, it's like bro, I'm not letting you in. And which is it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. But and for him to after watching the sprint, seeing him crash out, I didn't think he would have finished second in the main race. I don't know. I figured he would have survived, but I didn't think he would have finished second and to lead the race for as long as he did. I'll give Quartararo that for being the most impressive this past weekend. I mean, I think Aldeguer's up there because he's a rookie. And he's starting to be more consistent. Even though he's crashing out, at least he's finding the speed to be up in the top 8. And because I was ready to say Ayaguro is going to run away with Rookie of the Year, but now it seems like Furman is the guy. So I think it's pretty impressive for his turnaround. And I think he'll sort out the crashes as the season goes on. So I think those will be the most two impressive riders this past weekend. And that's still, I guess I'll give Pecco as well because he's still staying on the bike. he's still finishing on a podium is still better than finishing fourth or below.
Yep.
I you guys are gonna laugh, but I'm gonna say it's the whole KTM team because that's impressive not only in the sprint but also to replicate it in the actual race and have all their guys top 10, and Vinales in contention for even a win. It looked like he could have even won this thing if they added a couple more laps because he was like a possessed, and that's the best Vinales when he feels like nothing could beat him and he had the perfect bike. He woke up the right way that morning and they put the leaf exactly the way he likes it on his martini. Man, it's the guy.
Cappuccino.
He can't be beat. He can't be beat. And that's Batman. When you talk about Batman, that's Batman was out there. If this race would have had like a few more laps, I hate to say it, but he would have passed my guy Pecco, and I would have been pissed. But
We don't we
then
don't we don't know
I
that for
agree
sure.
with you on Aldeguer that that's another guy that something done clicked in his head. They spoke to him about his contract and how much more money he could make, and the guy is really going for that podium.
They showed him his exit clause.
Yeah, they showed him the hey, you there's a 1 year contract if you don't do this, this, and this.
Yo, do you guys think that he will get a podium?
Aldeguer.
Before the end of the year, I think so, man.
Yeah, I was rooting for him. Like, and I'll go back and say, when he was in the European Series, he was a beast. And I think
He,
that getting that contract early for Ducati, he's a young kid. I think he was just throwing it up in the air, just throwing it up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Making it rain because like that contract messed him up in Moto 2. And he should have after Pedro won, he should have won Moto 2. Like he like his the way he was riding at the end of their first year together in Moto 2, the way Aldeguer was riding at the end of 23, I guess. Like he should have ran away with it in 24. And Ducati said he got the contract because he couldn't ride right in Phillip Island, and then the dude turned into Dennis Rodman.
yeah, I mean he definitely is clicking right now for him. I mean, I hope he does get a podium this year because we need somebody else to get in the mix. But I feel like he's another person against Pecco. His teammate is Alex. Oh man, I really feel like, and I know I keep mentioning it, but I just feel like, yo, it's the world against Pecco. Almost like it was the world against Martin last year. I think now it's the world against Pecco, and he's
Yeah,
really like doing it to himself, but because they from the VR 46, they just not up there with him. They're far. He don't have his boys with him.
Yeah, I think Morbidelli was close, and again, I feel bad for Morbidelli crashing out because it's like Grant Hill. You come back and you're showing flashes of greatness, and then you get hurt again, and you're out again, and
That
I'm on record of saying like I think Morbidelli is one of the top riders. He's just bad luck, injury prone.
Let me say
Hey,
something
man,
about Morbidelli. Lewis could probably vouch for me on this. Yo,
cost me
Morbidelli is
money.
not.
Is what he's-
Yeah, yo, Morbidelli is not Pecco's boy like that.
nah,
Um,
Nah, he's Rossi's
because
boy. He's like that's like my
yeah,
Rossi's like that. He's like that's my big brother or my uncle. That's what
yeah,
like he's like what I'm saying. He
and
got
he's
he got he
fighting
got
for
the
the,
back
he's
phone number.
fighting for Rossi's attention from Pecco. Like at the end of the day, he feels like got these two championships, and Rossi had his eye on him, looking at him more, they got a special bond, Morby
Rossi.
and Rossi, yeah. And I
Hmm.
think, like, the last 2 years, he might have felt some type of way. So now if he gets right next to Pecco, and you've seen it, right? We saw it. They got a little aggressive between them
Yeah, yeah.
when it came to the racing, he wasn't giving him no slack. Like, I'm gonna pass you if I get a chance. I'm gonna win this race. I'm not letting you get any points. It's
Right.
early and it's just as much yours as it is mine.
And speaking of that, as you guys are giving Pecco grief, he fought dogfight those first couple of laps at Marquez. Ain't
Yes,
nobody else do
yes.
that. Ain't nobody else do that but him. And he went toe to toe. He didn't come out on the right. He finished third, so he came out on the right side.
Alex took advantage of that, my brother. Alex took advantage of that and went right around him. Yo, it's not cool, son.
So,
That's
I
cool,
mean,
man.
Pecco's doing his thing, man. And again, I'll go back to say I guess I'm defending him a little bit because he is like a Zarco, or even a Quattararo, because when Quattararo in Moto 2, no one thought he would be what he is in MotoGP, and I don't think anyone thought Pecco was going to be who he was in MotoGP at the time. He was the one that shined the most on the Ducatis, but I don't think they were, because he didn't start out on the factory team. He started out on Pramac as well and crashed out a bunch. So it wasn't like we were looking at him like, yo, he's the next thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in between the pandemic and people not being there, he took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, no, he got a good opportunity. He got to the factory team and he started to shine bright. I mean, again, on the factory team, especially if you're considered like the number one rider, I think when he first went to the factory team, it was him and Jack Miller, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes. Miller had a 1 year.
And yeah, so pretty much he was going to be the factory guy, one, because he's the Italian, so he's always going to get that extra love from the Italian company. Up until they found a Spaniard that can bring them a little more money. Now they're giving that Spaniard that is little extra love.
I don't
Crazy.
understand this.
Hey, he who brings the checks gets to write the rules. Pecco's like that wife married to a billionaire. Here's the $8 I made today. And Marquez is like, yo, here's the Brinks truck I made today. Go make me a
Same.
sandwich.
Listen, and that's the thing, right? I mean, I mean, Lewis, I guess you could speak to this a little bit from observation of riders that may have been on Dainese once upon a time or currently. How does that play out in the background, right? When you're the number one guy and you believe that, then someone else comes in, regardless if it's new or shiny or old or shiny. They come in and the love is not gone. Does the organization, is that something that you guys say, okay, let's circle back at this in 3 months and see what it's like, or you just let's just see who's standing?
No, yeah, for the season, you kind of just ride the game. For the season, you treat everybody equally. You treat everybody fair. You try to keep everybody on a level playing field. You give everybody the same level of attention. Obviously, if you got somebody that's at the very top, you don't want to say you give them more attention, but I mean, they get a little bit more attention. They get a little bit more love. Their suit gets cleaned a little faster. Little things like that can happen because again, we're humans. You
Yeah,
always
right.
maybe the guy that I really like is not doing so well, but like he's a really good friend of mine, so I want to make sure I take care of his gear a little bit better, just
Right.
because he's my boy. So
Right.
there's the relationships, then there's the money aspect. The guys that are working in the garage, like the mechanics and everything, they're there to do a job. So they're just doing their job the best that they can to help the rider that they're working with. Same thing on the gear side. The guys there are there to do the best job they can. When it really happens is towards the end of the year when all the cards get laid on the table and it comes time to negotiate what you're going to do the following year. That's when you can kind of go back and say, hey, this year, this is the total repair bill for all the suits that you crashed because you couldn't keep off the ground. So technically, on top of what we paid you, you ended up costing us in gear, $75,000 in suits,
Right.
in boots, in gloves, in this and that. We
Oh,
want to keep it for next year.
you guys are keeping receipts of that stuff?
Yo, we want you. You don't think I keep receipts? He crashed again. I think next year we're gonna find somebody else, man. This dude's costing me more than. But again, let's say you could crash 10 times, but if you finish on a podium 11 times and you
All's
win
forgiven.
9 times, all's forgiven because hey, I made my money back on the extra time that the camera was on you, that. So there's the personal taking care of business side, and then there's the money taking care of business side. And they don't really lap over each other, to be honest with you.
No,
We keep them
unfortunately.
separate. Yeah, we keep them separate because you have to keep them separate because that's two different negotiations that are happening there. Once you're in the fold, this is what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get. We're gonna give you the best you have. Same thing with the mechanics. The mechanics are gonna go there. They're gonna work on your bike. You can crash that bike 10 times. The 11th time, the bike's gonna be ready to crash again. They're not gonna fix it less well because they're invested in it as well. Because when you come in first, second, third, or fourth, or fifth place, part of that bonus goes back to your mechanics.
Right.
So there's an incentive for them to make sure that they're giving you the best package you want. Now, if I work for a guy and I know I'm giving him the absolute best bike and he can't put it on a podium and he can't get me a receipt, I'm going to complain to the team like, hey, we need to get another rider, man. This guy is not bringing any cheddar to the table. Like, I'm working my ass off. I know the bike is good and he keeps crashing or he's finishing in 14th place. Find another guy. And then the team will be like, yeah, you're right. Here's the receipts for all those crash parts. And we didn't get on the podium even once.
Right.
Let's go talk.
That's crazy.
Let me ask this to Track Stars before we get out of here, and you can chime in afterwards, Lewis, if you want. To me, if I was Ducati, I would have either re-signed Bastianini or signed Martin. If this thing and we talked about Pecco and the team and Marquez and the team, if this thing implodes, similar to Lorenzo and Rossi, who's at fault?
That's me. I don't know why the hell this thing came on.
I can hear you though, but
yeah, we can hear you. That's right. That's the normal confused face that you have when they ask you something.
There you go.
All right, you're back.
You're back. So who's at fault, man? If this thing implodes, because I'm trying to put myself in the mind of Ducati higher ups, and it just how it's playing out currently, and it's only 6 rounds in. I felt like it was going to play out like that. And maybe at some point Pecco will get disgruntled because you're going to treat everybody the same, but every once in a while you look over your shoulder and you see people talking behind you, and then you see after about 5-6 times you realize you're missing out on something, right? So who's at fault if this thing implodes with Marquez being at Ducati? Because I got to assume if Mark doesn't win the championship, is it they sold more bikes so they won, even though Mark didn't win, or what?
Well, when you think about this Mark situation, right? Like let's go back before any of this real racing started, right? It's like Mark already won the championship on the Ducati. So it's not necessarily the situation where Lewis is talking about like, yo, we're bringing you here. Yeah, we're bringing you here, Mark. Like, let's imagine right now, it would have been Jorge Martin who comes next to Pecco. You think they would have traded Jorge Martin like the champion?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
They would have told Jorge Martin, you're on the factory team, you're our number 2 rider. Pecco is a 2-time champion. Okay? But they did the opposite with Marc Marquez. Marc Marquez came like he already is the champion. You know that he's the 8-time champion. He never won on a Ducati. You never seen him once on the factory team. Like,
How you gonna? He hasn't won on a Ducati. Martin won on the Ducati.
Right.
Yo, he was on every commercial. They already announced that they're releasing Mark Marquez edition B2. What the hell is going on? They put my man. They allowed my man Pecco to wear a white suit, and put um Mark Marquez in a complete red suit. So who's the number one rider? Who is Ducati? Yo, that was crazy, my brother. So it was. I don't feel like we can make that comparison. I think they handed it to him before he even sat on the bike.
So there's turmoil already.
Yeah. But let's hear what Lewis has to say, because I already know he's gonna say some crazy shit right now. You don't know nothing about
I'm gonna
numbers,
speak
buddy.
facts. Look, I'm going to speak facts. If I come to a team and I've never won a championship, and the other guy in the team has won 2 championships and has been with the team for 4 or 5 years, that guy is going to be the number one guy. If I got one championship, which is the most recent championship, and that team hires me, that team is hiring me knowing they're hiring the returning champion.
Right.
So I'm going to negotiate it into my contract that I want this, and this, because I got the leverage power to
What
do
you talking
that
about,
as
Lewis? Negotiate? What's that?
negotiation. The money, the numbers guy. Now, Mark Marquez, maybe I don't have this championship, but I come with all of this. I come with 8 other championships. I come with the biggest name in the sport. I come with this, I come with that, and I bring all these other sponsors with me. Now, I'm going to give up personal sponsors. I'm going to give up Red Bull for you guys. What are you guys going to do for me? You don't think that that's happening in that conversation when he's talking to Ducati? I can stay with Grassini and keep getting this Red Bull money. I can keep getting this other money.
I don't like this
So
kind of
let's
negotiation, Lewis.
But
that's why you don't want to be in a
but to treat
negotiation
your,
with me. I look
but
at
to
dot all the dots, cross all the T's.
but to treat your two-time champion,
Your savior, not
Yeah,
just two-time
your
champion. Your
savior, because
savior.
you was drowning in the desert. You know what I'm saying?
you wasn't drowning. You had the best bike on the grid, man,
For how many years?
for the past 5 years.
Come on, man. Listen, man. Let's not do that. They've been
Oh my
drowning since
God,
since at least 2010. Since at least 2010, they've been drowning. Stop it.
yo,
Yeah, but I'm saying, but for
and
the
I'm a
past 5 years,
Ducati
they're the
fan.
bike to beat.
I
They
know,
are the
but
bike to beat. Since 2021, they've been the bike to beat.
mhm.
And even before then, when Dovizioso was running his run, when they were first developing this bike and is getting there, he was already competitive. So it's not like Pecco stepped into the Ducati from 2015. He
No, he
stepped into a
stepped in
Ducati that was.
2019, and the 2019 bike was still bad.
But how was it bad if Andrea Dovizioso was winning races on it?
Well, yeah,
How could it have been bad?
The same way Marquez was winning on a Honda, and that was bad.
Okay, but you can't say it. If those were the 2 bikes that were winning,
Yo,
then they
yo,
wouldn't have
Rex,
been that
guys,
bad.
this is the conversation all the time, my man. That it
But
what's how's the saying was good for
Good
the
for the
gander is
goose.
good for the goose, but
Yes.
not in this
well, here's
situation. When it has Mark
but
Marquez next to, it's
here's the
not the
thing.
same.
If I'm coming to the team and I'm Mark Marquez, this is what I'm asking for. And the reason I can ask for it because I'm Mark Marquez.
Right. I
If
got 8
Martin
titles.
went to the team, if
Yeah.
Martin went to the team and if he has good management, the team and the management would have said the same thing. Hey, yeah, he only won 1 championship, but who's the guy that been runner up in the last 2 years in the championship race? Who's the guy that did this? Who's the guy that did that? And he did this all from a satellite team. Now he's coming to the factory team. We expect him to get this, this, and that. So this is why you negotiate. This is why it's called
Yeah,
a
you can,
business of racing, not the friendship of racing.
but you can negotiate it. I'm sure there was negotiations between Mark and
Yeah.
Ducati for sure,
And in those
and even.
negotiations, I guarantee you, Mark Marquez says, hey, you know what? One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to have an all red suit.
Mhm.
I don't care what Pecco has, but I want an all red suit. I want a Ducati V2. If I do this, this, and this, I want a special edition Ducati under my name. If I do this, 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 I want a Ducati V4R with my colors. I want to get this percentage. Like this is all stuff that's get done in negotiations way ahead of time that nobody ever
No,
sees.
But we talking about I'm talking about the things that are not negotiated, that are just being done.
Davide Travio has to cheer for me at least 3 times during the race in the contract.
He has to convince
3
me that
times.
he's
3
enjoying
times.
himself.
Yeah, 3 times a
Gigi
race.
has
You
to
gotta be
kiss the
seen on
ring.
TV going like this. In my
Gigi has to
garage.
kiss the ring.
Oh my
Gigi
God.
has to come and hug me after every race.
Yeah, yo,
All in
it's
the
fucked
contract.
up. Yo,
Listen, Lois. I would believe all that, but Honda created a planet for Mark Marquez, and he walked away, and so like he had that. So why ask for all these things with Ducati when he could have had those things with with Honda? And Zarco's finished is 7th in the championship right now, so we have to assume Marquez might have been 3rd or 4th in the championship right now. But Zarco's 7 out of Honda.
yo, if for any reason Mark had gotten on the Honda that they're riding right now, we're talking about probably the best championship in MotoGP history, you know?
I
Because
do.
Quartararo would be competitive. Mark would be competitive on the Honda. Pecco, and let's say Pecco on Ducati, and let's say Alex is Pecco's teammate, and then Martin healthy on Aprilia with Bezecchi. Oh my God, you're talking about my brother. I mean, we could dream. That's what we could do. We could dream of something like that.
I completely agree. I don't know if you missed it, Lewis. What I was saying is, all the things that you said, I'm pretty sure Honda gave Mark a planet and he turned it down. So
because if you listen to the interview that he did, he sat with Honda, he sat with his family, he sat with Red Bull, he sat with all his sponsors, and all of them told him the same thing. At the end of the day, you got to decide this for yourself because this is your career. And Mark said that after he talked to everybody, he sat down. I forgot where the interview is at. I think it's in that special on Amazon. And he said after he sat down and thought about it, he's like, I got to do what's best for me. And I got to move on. I got to find somewhere else because if I keep going the way I'm going, my career is going to be over one way or another. Either I'm going to quit or I'm going to end up getting so hurt that I'm going to have to quit. And
But
he's like, so I want
listen,
to give myself one opportunity. And he went that route. And he knew
listen
that
to
the
Rex.
best bike to work with him was that Ducati.
Listen to Rex's point though. Rex is saying, imagine if he would have been on this bike that Zarco seems he's competitive in. Marini's moved up 10 places. Mir is
Crashing.
consistently in 5th before he crashes.
Or consistently in the crash truck. He has only
Before he
finished 2
crashes. No,
races.
I said that. That's right.
He's
I
only
noticed
finished 2
that. I
races.
noticed that.
He got like
I said before he
18
crashes.
DNFs. It's only been 7 races.
Yo, that's a fact. That's a fact.
right.
No,
But
here's the thing. When you decide when you get to the point where you're having a divorce, you might think, I'm gonna miss my wife. But once the divorce is over, like you got to move on. You can't keep thinking about your wife. You got to step forward because you decided this divorce was happening.
But
You
then
both
she did the
agreed to it.
lipo and the Brazilian butt lift, and she's
That's all
looking
right.
crazy.
You gotta go find another chick. That's in your past. You can't go back to your past because if the love wasn't there when you left, the love ain't gonna be there when you go back.
No, the love
I was
was
going to
there,
say
but
the
you
chocolate
had
chip cookies smell good coming out the oven, but okay.
Yeah. Same deal.
I don't think they broke up because the love was gone. I think they broke up because they got caught cheating. That's all. You
Well,
know, he was looking at that Ducati
and realizing, hey man, I can stay here or my career could end in a really bad way, or I could take this one opportunity and do something for myself because for the last whatever years, I've been loyal to the brand. I've done this, I've done that, but we're not going anywhere.
Oh.
And we don't know the inside scoop. We don't know what, maybe Honda said, hey, we're not developing the bike or we're putting a stop on this or they're not doing the right things. And He just felt
Obviously, they
frustrated with the
developed
cost.
the bike.
Let me ask you this, Lewis, and I think Track Stars will co-sign. And don't say it's the 8 titles. What makes Marquez so special in that? Because we know it's a cutthroat business, and as you say, you guys are keeping receipts. How come there's no receipts for Marquez? Because
For real.
I mean,
I mean,
like you're saying
because
that
he's a generational talent. You know, if you think about what he's done from the first time he started riding in Moto 3 to the time he got to MotoGP, he's done things in a way where he has consistently shown he's a generational talent. He's beaten records that were there before he got there for years. He's set new records. He's set new bars. The youngest rider to win a MotoGP race.
he's making the refs call the wrong calls. I mean, listen, he's Michael
Yeah,
Jordan, right?
he's Michael Jordan. Well, no, if that was the case, he'd be LeBron James waiting on that foul call. Oh, wait. Now they looking at me. No, like he really did. He was, I keep saying he's one of the last aliens. You know, if you look at the aliens that kind of dominated the late 90s through the 2000s, he's the last of the aliens. I don't see anybody, and I'm looking in Moto 2 and Moto 3 and all these other series. I don't see anybody doing what Rossi did before, what he's done since. Like nobody is dominating any series right now.
Right. And it's interesting that you say that because I also see it in other sports as well. Right. It is in other sports. I don't know if it's just because it's just too much organized training these days for young people, that there's no one that really stands out like that anymore. Everybody's kind of all hovering around the same skill set.
But once in a blue moon, this generational talent comes out of nowhere and everybody pays attention to them. Okay. The same way that LeBron one day came out of nowhere and they're like, holy shit, this high school kid is good, like really good. And now look at where he's at now. So there's always going to be this generational talent that comes out of nowhere that sets a new bar. Right. And, you know, I would like to say that Fermin Aldeguer could be that guy, but we saw what he did in Moto 2, man. Yeah. And that kind of lowered his stock realistically, because just because you got a contract, you gave up on the season, man.
Right.
And you decided like, yeah, I'm not really going to race that hard anymore.
Right.
Where that was your opportunity to lay the groundwork that I'm going to win this championship. I'm going to win it, run away with the championship. So when I go to MotoGP, I'm going there as already a champion and people can expect X, Y, Z. And instead I don't know what he did, but it felt like to me, he coasted the season just to get through the season to get to GP. Right. Now we do see that he's starting to come around and he's starting to get up to the front. He's starting to battle, but imagine how much more impactful it would have been if he came in as the champion.
Correct. I agree. I completely agree with that.
And that's that shark mentality that Mark has, that Rossi had, and that Lorenzo had. You know, there's these sharks that come in the water every once in a while, man, that they just want to eat everybody. And leave them on.
You know, I guess, you know, there's double standards everywhere, Lewis. That's all I got to
say. Everywhere.
Remember, the double standards for everyone, but they're a little different for Mark, okay? Remember that. Keep.
Hey, man.
Keep.
Well, you know, I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. I think we get
one more show. Hold on, Rex.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Man, he's gonna talk about Pecco.
The next round. Who's gonna win?
Well, we got 2 weeks, man. Relax.
I just want your mind could change.
Okay.
But I want to hear it.
Well, okay.
I want to hear who do you think is gonna win the French round?
All right, I got my. I will say I'll put Zarco in there. I'll put Quartararo in there, and I got Bagnaia. There we go. 2 Frenchie and an Italian.
2 Frenchies and an Italian. I definitely coming off this performance, I definitely got Quartararo in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mark is going to bounce back. We'll see how Alex has done here, because historically this hasn't been a great track for Alex, but maybe he puts it together. So I think it's going to be more or less the usual suspects with Quartararo in the mix. Now, I will say this. France loves to rain in France.
Yeah.
And if it rains, if it rains, I'm telling you right now, Zarco right at the front.
Zarco, Miller,
Miller, Bender, all the wet rain experts are going to be right at the front. So
Scott Redden might
it could
even
be a
show
whole
up.
different race. Yeah, it could be anybody show up, dude. I mean, track stars might show up and get in 5th place.
Damn, you see how you play me?
No, at least you'll be on the Ducati. Hey, they got another Ducati on the grid.
Right? Top 5 is good, man.
Top 5 is good, man. Even in the
Yo,
rain.
but it's a track for Alex. I mean, it's not a good track for Mark or Bank or Pecco. So I don't know. I don't know, man. This could be a huge race for Alex if he could put it together and like feel really good and like.
Mark's won a lot on this track. I will say that. Like Mark does have a history of doing well on this track. Maybe Ducati's new bike, but during the Honda years, he did have a history of finishing on the podium quite often on this track. But again, man, I think if it's a normal French GP and it rains, anything can happen, bro. Anything.
Love it. Did you say who you pick? Track stars?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Frenchman Quattorano. My wild card is gonna be Bezecchi.
Okay.
He's due, man. He's due for a podium up there.
He is. It's taking him a. I wish he was more consistent, right? Because Vinales is more consistent than he is. Bastianini's starting to show himself as well, and so I think Bez was a little bit, but it's just the bad starts and the crashes.
I want to say Pecco, man. I already know this is not a good game. So I'm gonna say Alex.
Okay, I like that.
All right.
I mean, I like that. So,
who you got this weekend in Moto America?
You already know.
Both of you guys. Who you got this weekend, Moto America?
You already know.
Road Atlanta is supposed to be mixed conditions because it might actually drizzle a little bit here and there.
I'm gonna say Bobby Fong.
Okay. I think Beaubier is still the guy to beat this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got a lot to prove this year just to show people he's still got it. So I'm gonna go with Beaubier as the winner in at least one of the 2 Superbike races.
Okay, I like that. I know. Go ahead, say it.
Just say it. Just to hear the word. Hope the motor blows up.
Yo, I want to see. I would love to see Bobby and Herring go at it again. No crashing though. No crashing. No taking nobody out. Let's see them go head to head, and let my man get the win. Bobby on the podium for 2nd place. Love you, Bobby.
So, one of the shows before I get out of here, one of the shows, and it could just be a rumor. One of the shows we did last week, Eli was on, and he mentioned that Superbike is going to leave Motor America.
Nah.
Superbike
is not going to leave Motor America, but it's got to change. Like there's not enough bikes on the grid, and we can't have unfortunately with less and less bikes on the grid and with the usual same 3 or 4 or 5 guys at the front. I mean, there's really only 2 big teams, 3 technically. We can't have an entire series that just revolves around 5 racers. And
it's only 10 bikes, yeah.
And that's the problem, and there's not enough bikes in it. Like if you look at Stock 1000, I think this weekend is going to have 28 bikes on the grid.
Wow.
And it's still going to be the same 6-7 guys at the front, but at least you've got a more complete grid. You can't have a grid with 12 bikes, man. And
No, but
Superbike,
it's like you just said, right? If you got 28 bikes, top 10 means something. But if you got
yeah,
10 bikes on the grid, top 5, 3 are on the podium. What you mean?
yeah, it's not sustainable to keep doing Superbike the way that they're doing Superbike. You know, we don't have enough riders, we don't have enough teams that can front the money. I
Right.
mean, that's why so many guys are racing in Supersport, because the cost of going to Supersport is so much less and the competition level is pretty high. I mean, you know, it's a little bit more of a mix, and the younger guys have an opportunity to race against veterans so they can kind of step their game up. I hate to say it's the witness protection program for Superbike guys that don't have a home. It's Supersport.
Yo, it's crazy.
But you know, that's why all these guys are racing in Supersport, because you can actually race, not break the bank, and you know, maybe walk away with a little bit of coin or at least break even. Whereas in Superbike, man, even with all the sponsors you have, you know, breaking even is what everybody's hoping to get to.
Okay. So change, not going away. It's going to change.
It's gonna,
Like,
it's gonna have
Unless
to
you're on
evolve.
100. Then you got big money.
You got big money, but you racing for seventh place.
And on that note, we like first place. So I want to thank you guys for coming on this evening and chopping it up. Looking forward to next Monday when the whole crew's back together. Tell folks how they can find you guys.
Well, it's your boy Trackstars. You can find me on Instagram, Trackstars, TRAXSTARZ. Like I always say, stay up on tools. Don't forget to pull up at your nearest Dainese store and mention your boy Trackstars and pick up some amazing gear for this year. The season just started and we got a ton of suits out there. We doing custom works. Design your suit like I did. Very similar to my boy Bizdeki's. Create the your dream suit or your dream jacket. And mention Trackstars. Call Lewis too. He loves phone calls and messages.
All right, man.
You can find me at at Real Louis Ortega on Instagram. More than happy. I've actually gotten quite a few messages from people that watch the videos, and I've responded. It's pretty cool interaction with some of the people. So we're looking forward to get more interaction with the people that are watching these videos. If you got questions, send them, and you know, we'll look at answering them here on the video, so you guys can kind of share it. We'll give you a little bit of a shout out. But yeah, at Real Louis Ortega, Instagram. I don't have TikTok or any of that other nonsense. Just Instagram.
For now.
Nah, but you do have that cool movie reviews on YouTube. Yo, he's really good. I'm gonna give you props at that. I like the movie reviews that he got on YouTube. Check them out, guys. Louis, say the channel on that?
It's Louis Ortega. It's just the Louis Ortega.
It's really good.
Go check it out, people. And like Louis said, definitely continue to comment and we will respond. And some of those we'll put on air for sure. I want to thank you guys, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.